about the power of friendship. Uh,
Power of friendship,
I
yes.
I think this team might be the definition of the power of friendship this year, and that's
A hundred
that's the
percent.
that's the Villanova Knicks.
The
The
Villanova
Villanova
Knicks. The
Knicks.
Villanova
I
Knicks,
don't
dude.
really like the team Villanova. I might have to start liking them if the Knicks start playing well.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Welcome to episode 33 of the Two Man Podcast. I'm Carl, and this is my co-host Tyler, and we're here to give you guys an awesome episode today. Tyler, what do we got in store for everybody today?
Oh, we got a great episode in store for the viewers who are lucky enough to be listening to us. Any visual viewers who might be seeing our hats matching, little sneak peek. We have something else on the way that you will see shortly, a fun announcement. But in terms of this episode, we got a lovely, lovely lineup for you guys. First, we're going to talk about the unfortunate sports
Lovely.
championships that have been won recently by two teams. Me and Carl did not want. And then we're going to have a little conversation about sports trophies in general. And then we'll talk about teams we do like. We'll talk about the Knicks and the Mets. And then the NBA draft just finished off with one storyline in specific that we want to talk about, a dynamic duo. And then another
yeah.
dynamic duo we'll talk about in the pop culture world, a little bit about Taylor and Travis. Something happened recently with them. And we'll end with one of our favorite artists, Post Malone, who looks to be going into a new genre. And we couldn't be more happier between me
Couldn't
and
be
Carl.
happier.
So make
Let's
sure
go.
you guys stick around for all these lovely topics. And Carl, you want to kick us off with the championships that were won recently since our last podcast.
Yes, will do. Also just gotta say, great job getting us started.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, so uh after our last episode, we were in the midst of two long playoff runs that lasted pretty much all summer, and I
Mhm.
think they pretty much kind of took over the sports world for a little bit. It was, um, the Stanley Cup, which tip of the cap, Florida Panthers won.
Yep.
They knocked the Rangers out, but I was really hoping the Oilers were gonna make history, man. That would have
Yeah.
been awesome to see. I put 75 bucks on the Oilers to win that game, but they lost, so
As
down
you should have.
75
Yeah,
bucks.
I was really pulling for him too. Not even just because the Panthers beat us, but I just want McDavid to get it done because he is
Yeah.
just in a league of his own. So I would have rather him knock the Stanley Cup out of the way as well earlier in his career. But he's got time.
Yeah, he's got time, and I thought it would have been so cool too to see a team come back from 3-0.
Yeah.
Like they've said it's been done before, like in the playoffs, but it's never been done before in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So that would have been just like really cool for the sport just to see.
Oh yeah, well,
Um,
yeah. I mean, well, I think when they mentioned it too, like it might have even been done in the Stanley Cup once, but it was like a much different format. It
mhm.
was like 1940s, I believe, was the last time it was done in the Stanley Cup, and you know, that's just a time we can't even think about. So
No,
it would have been
literally.
cool. That's one thing too. It would have been cool to be able to tell our kids and grandkids if they fell in love with the sport to say, we watched the 3-0 comeback, but. They just ran out of juice, and the Panthers proved they were just the better team throughout the whole playoffs. I mean, they
Yeah.
deserved it, unfortunately.
Speaking of Connor McDavid, there was a lot of, not speculation, but a lot of people saying that he's like has the potential to be the Michael Jordan
Yeah.
of hockey. Your hockey expertise, Tyler, would you say that he is? Would you agree with PK Subban, who's like the lead runner of this?
He's on a good pace, honestly. To be one of the best players to ever play the game of hockey for sure. And a lot of it then comes down to when you have the stats, when you have the MVP awards, you have to kind of get that ring to put you over the edge to start leading that conversation. I mean, he's only 28, 29, so hopefully, bearing any injuries, anything like that, you never know. But, I think he's got a good, hopefully 10 years in him. That's hopeful.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but, in terms of matching Jordan in championships, I don't think so. But if you look
Yeah.
at the skill and you look at one of the best players ever, I mean, I think right now he's the best player in the sport of hockey. I mean, if anyone watched the third period of that game, I believe he was on the ice for the entire third period, double, triple shifting him because he's just that good. But in terms of, what he still has to do, he obviously needs that cup. But when you look at stats he's breaking, he's breaking Wayne Gretzky's records and he's passing all these top guys. So He's in the league with them now, and I think once it's all said and done, I think he'll be easily a top three player that's ever played the game.
Wow. That's crazy. I love seeing talent like that and talking about like great players because
Yeah.
I just feel blessed to just be like, yeah, like I actually remember seeing this guy play in a game, Because I
Yeah.
feel like when we talk about MJ, like I was too young to like
Hmm.
actually genuinely enjoy his like talents.
Yeah.
And then like we had LeBron. LeBron obviously was great, you
Hmm.
know. But just to be in the same, like to see like a great of time, like I mean, listen, like I'm always an advocate of Mike Trout. I'm always
Yeah.
like, listen, this guy is the greatest player like I've seen in baseball. And I think he has the potential to be the best. But they always say if you don't win championship, it's really
Hmm.
hard to be considered the best.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. And just McDavid too. Obviously, nothing against the great one, Wayne Gretzky. I'm not trying to take anything against him away from him, but he played in a different time when the league was so different. I mean, you look at a lot of his stats, and the goalies just played different, or a lot of his old clips, and the goalies just had a different style. I mean, you see Gretzky taking slap shots and wristers wide open somehow in the blue circle or something, and they're going right in every time.
yeah,
McDavid just has a different skill set than Gretzky, and I think for both their times they were definitely top of their leagues. But I mean, I think maybe even Wayne Gretzky would say the competition nowadays is seemingly a little harder as well. So I
yeah,
think that definitely helps the case.
yeah. They don't got like guys like Matt Rempe down your throat trying to beat the shit out of you
Yeah,
every.
no, they had some hard hitters back then. They had some guys that definitely you probably got away with a lot more hits, but in
Oh,
terms of
hundred
skill,
percent.
you had someone backing you up. So I'm sure Gretzky never uh, was on the ice very, very much.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, congrats to the
Hmm.
Panthers, even though F them. But
Yeah.
on the first cup in 30 years of being a franchise, it's always great to see another team, get that first. I just wish it wasn't the Panthers, but
Yeah. Yeah. I feel the same
whatever. It is what it is. On to another team that we really hoped didn't win the
way.
championship, but Tyler did guess this right, and we did
Hmm.
have a fan on our TikTok point out that Tyler obviously wasn't guessing. It was just the obvious answer. But no, Tyler, I'm giving you your props, your
Thank you.
flowers.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
gotta
Thank
say,
you.
Tyler, good job on calling the Celtics winning the NBA Finals.
Thank you, thank you,
So,
thank you. Just on that point, real quick, I picked the Rangers for the Cup. They were not too far off. I picked the 49ers for the Super Bowl. They lost in the Super Bowl, and then I've
okay,
had the Celtics, so I finally got one right. And I don't
one for
remember who
three.
I had for baseball. Oh, I think the Dodgers,
Dodgers,
which
yeah, you have the Dodgers.
could be.
Could be.
Anyway, yeah, I was not too happy that I was right about the Celtics, even though they did look like the obvious choice all season after they got
Yep.
Drew and Porzingis, and that team just had so much depth, so much talent. I mean, on any given night, you couldn't guard the entire team. Someone was due to drop 20, 25 points, if not the entire roster. Yeah, and it's a complete 180 from the Panthers winning their first in 30 years of their franchise. And now you have the Celtics winning their 18th, which leads the
Crazy.
NBA. And you knew it was coming soon. I just didn't really want it to come this year. But they also got it done in a pretty boring series, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty trash, honestly. I really thought that the Mavs were going to come out like swinging
Hmm.
because they played so good in that last series. And I guess they just emptied the tank trying to get to the finals, and the Celtics just were too overpowering for them. I don't know, but I
Yeah.
didn't really feel that way watching. They have Luca, they shut down better teams.
Yeah.
Like the West was the obviously the better conference coming out of. Maybe it was just the gauntlet getting out of there.
Hmm.
Like everybody was just tired. I know Luca was banged up too, though.
Yeah,
So
no, exactly. I think they were banged up and they definitely came out of a tougher conference. But I mean, it was just matchup nightmare really for anyone who came out of the West facing the Celtics. I mean, I know Kristaps missed a couple games, but
yeah,
that
but he
team
was
just has
there.
so much depth. Drew, the lockdown defender, a couple scorers in Tatum and Brown. They really had just all the ingredients for a championship team, unfortunately, as I hate to say it. But they got it done,
Yep,
and
they did.
honestly, they're so young. I hope I don't see any more this decade, but there could be a couple more in store.
No, I saw something saying that the next four, the big four, favorites are to win the championship now are the Dodgers, the Chiefs.
Oh my God.
The Dodgers, the Chiefs, the Panthers, and the Celtics are all favorites to run it back and win next year.
Jeez, that's crazy. It's it's
Yeah.
it's a weird year for sports too, because like nothing wrong with great teams and proven teams winning or teams that are supposed to win, but everyone loves a good Cinderella story. I think
Oh yeah,
I saw a
everyone.
picture of like the Chiefs, the Celtics, the Panthers, even in the WNBA, South Carolina won again. March Madness, who won? Oh, UConn won back to
UConn,
back
yeah,
years.
UConn
So it's
won
like
back-to-back years
all the favorites and all the teams that people hate because they're so good all
because they're
like
so
won
good.
this year.
Yeah,
There was no Cinderella story so far. Hopefully that changes uh, for the rest of the year because it's cool to see the talent, but it's also kind of boring if you're not a
yeah,
fan of
no,
those teams.
100%. 100%. Hoping that we get a Cinderella team to come in there and win a game this season. I will talk about them shortly. So
We will, yeah. But right before we get to that, speaking of kind of championships and other sports, I was wondering, I think we can agree that the Stanley Cup is just universal best trophy out of the four major sports, right?
I would 120 billion% agree.
Yeah, I've seen videos of it getting someone jumping in the Atlantic Ocean with it. Their GM was, or one of their front office members was eating out of the Stanley Cup with pasta out of the Stanley Cup. So I think it's just universally the Stanley Cup is great. But I was
That's
wondering,
crazy.
after the Stanley Cup, what you think is the best sports trophy out of the four major sports? Well, now three sports:
That's such a
baseball,
great
football,
question.
or basketball. Yeah,
I would say like I guess look wise and just iconically,
yeah,
I put the Stanley Cup one, obviously.
yeah, easily.
And then I would put the MLB, I
Hmm.
would put the World Series trophy,
Hmm.
I would put the Lombardi trophy for the NFL, and
Hmm.
I would finally say in last place it would be the NBA Finals, which what's the name of that trophy? Um,
Uh, did they
I'm
just
not sure the
rename it,
name.
or did they
I think they just
rename the
renamed it.
MVP trophy? I don't remember. I don't even know
Anyway,
what the
I would
name
say the
is.
NBA
Oh,
Finals trophy.
the Larry O'Brien.
Yes, the Larry O'Brien. Yes, Mr.
Yeah.
Larry O'Brien. Yes,
Yes.
so Larry O'Brien trophy. I would say, unfortunately, it is iconic. I would just say, out of the four, I feel like it just doesn't hold the same weight. It
Yeah.
that it used to. Like when MJ was holding like the two Lombardi trophy, or not the two Larry O'Brien
Yeah.
trophies, like that picture goes hard,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. Well,
know?
yeah. He's got that one with like his MVP one. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
the MVP one's like a smaller.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
like
a
Larry
smaller
O'Brien.
version of it. Like
Yeah.
that, like those pictures just go hard and just so much
Hmm.
nostalgia, just
Yeah.
like in those pictures. Like that's what I just grew up seeing, and like I
Hmm.
see people have it, but there's just something about at the end when they win the World Series and they hold up and you just see the banners on the trophy just going all the way around. It just
Yeah. Exactly.
looks so sexy.
Yeah, no,
It's
I think if you go on looks, I have to agree with your list for sure because just the flags, the pennants going around the
yeah,
trophy, it's just the other cool. It's not that the Larry O'Brien or what's even the Lombardi are bad
yeah.
looking. It's just they're pretty bland. One's a
I would just
football, one's got a
yeah, no.
basketball.
Like I was gonna say, I might be crazy for saying this, but they literally look like the same exact trophy, just literally the shape is just changed on top.
Yeah, no, it
Am I
is. It's
crazy for
just
saying that?
no, you're not because they're the same shape on the bottom. It's just almost like a cylinder, and
Yeah,
then it's just one has the football on top and one has a sphere, which is supposed to be a basketball.
yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty boring. They're not really out there. I don't think they'll ever be changed, but they're just
No,
kind
I
of
don't think that as I don't think they should ever be changed because I
no.
think it's cool to have a tradition to see somebody who played in the 80s to now like carry that same trophy around.
Oh yeah, no, of
So,
course. Yeah,
um
it's cool.
yeah, no, it's cool, but I think we might catch a lot of slack for this, 100%. I think
Probably.
we're gonna get so many people saying that the Lombardi Trophy is the number one, and they might even put the Stanley Cup at four. But I think anybody I think whoever says that, you are freaking brain dead because
Yeah.
they're like that thing is just so iconic. Like watching the guy, I don't know the guy's name, but the guy with the silver hair that literally wears the white gloves and polishes it
Oh yeah, the keeper of the
before
cup. I don't know
the
his
keeper
name
of the
though
cup.
either.
I think his name is like Jack something.
Maybe, yeah.
And like he literally just like that's his job.
Yeah.
Get name. another job where they have a keeper of the trophy who just his job is to polish it.
Well, yeah, that's what makes it so prestigious because
Yeah.
there is only the one cup that gets passed to the new winning team. In all the other sports, you win that trophy, that's your trophy, and you keep that for the rest of your franchise's history. I know when the Giants won like 3 World Series in 5 years, they had a little ceremony where all three of them were, behind the pitcher's mound or, any a dynasty like, the Chiefs will have two, but the Stanley Cup, you win one, then you have to give it to the next team, the next year. I'm sure they might get a replica one for their own Hall of Fame, but there's one trophy that gets passed around with all the names on it from teams that won back in the 1900s. So it's definitely, I think, the coolest one.
I would have to agree with you, man.
Yeah.
I, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It really is. It really is. But, speaking about trophies, we'll kind of talk about one of our teams who maybe still have a chance to win, especially with the way they're playing lately, and that's the New York Mets.
Yeah, dude, I'm saying it now. It's I said before it was going to be Dodgers Orioles. We might be seeing Orioles Mets baby in the World Series this year because it's all because of this big purple guy from McDonald's, Grimace, baby. Let's fucking
Unbelievable.
go.
Unbelievable. I can't believe it. Ever since we talked about them 2 weeks ago, saying that this players only meeting might not work, I think they've gone 17-6, if my math is correct.
Yeah,
Seem to have
yeah,
worked actually.
yeah. We are in the Grimace era.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't think I've ever been more happy to be a Mets fan.
Yeah.
I'm honestly like the highs and lows of being a Mets fan are just like probably the craziest I
Oh
think
yeah.
feelings you'll ever like you'll ever experience in your life. It's
Oh
just
yeah.
crazy. Just think about it. You know, we were literally saying that this team was garbage not even 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like we had a podcast maybe 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about we can't even talk about the Mets on the podcast because they're just so bad right now,
Pitiful on all accounts.
pitiful.
Yeah.
And then they go to London. We're talking about how we don't know if that was a good option for them,
Yeah.
right? And now I'm like, give me more Mets. Like when the Mets are off tonight. Like we're recording this
I
on
was
a
upset
Thursday
about
night,
that as well.
and I'm
Yeah.
pissed. I was like,
Yeah.
there's nothing I can keep track of. There's no Francisco Alvarez like freaking hitting home runs and then
Yeah.
singing Jose Iglesias song. Oh my God,
I
dude!
can't
Like
wait for that one to drop. That's gonna be exciting.
literally electric. It is
Yeah.
such an amazing thing that they started.
Yeah.
This team just has so much chemistry right now, and it just like gives me goosebumps talking about it, dude.
I know. I can't believe what changed. Like you said, last time we talked about him was when Jorge Lopez was throwing his glove over after blowing a game against the Dodgers. And now,
Yeah.
ever since Grimace threw out the first pitch, we changed to a Pride Month as well. They've
Yeah.
turned into a completely different team. And the power of friendship is really, carrying them to
Power of friendship. I
back to
love when you say
500.
that. The power of friendship, dude. Oh my God. You see they also have a new like what I just did. They have a new celebration.
Celebration. Yeah, I
Whenever they
noticed
get a
that
hit,
a
they go
few
like this.
weeks ago. Yeah, I saw that a few weeks ago.
That's like what started it. It was like they started doing this and they like were just starting to get hot, but
Yeah,
then Grimace threw out the first pitch
yeah,
and it was like all hands, it was like all teams go. Go,
yeah,
go, go.
yeah.
Everybody's hitting.
Yeah, no,
Everybody's pitching.
it,
Everybody's
it, it
hitting,
was
pitching,
crazy. I can only
catching.
imagine who in the marketing team pitched like Grimace being the first pitch, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be good for the kids, like Grimace, whatever. It's funny, nostalgia, whatever." And then now, whoever this person is in the marketing team, or whoever idea this is probably head of the company because it
No,
has it has really just
that's
taken
the
over New
company.
York City by storm. I
He's
saw
the
him at the Empire
COO.
State Building. I think they're
Dude,
having like a giveaway for him.
if they have a
Uh,
giveaway, I'm there. Like I'm
yeah.
there. I'm taking off of work. I don't care if I'm working a wedding or if I need to. I'm
Yeah.
taking off and I'm going.
Yeah, and then, just 2 days ago or yesterday, the Mets just swept the Yankees in a little two-game series, which was great, but they had their little rain delay in the second game. And just the best video you've ever seen in your entire life is the old Shea Bridge. They got out there in City Field is just packed because everyone's ducking for cover from the rain. And Grimace is just above the crowd like Simba's being hosted, just chugging a beer. Someone dressed as Grimace. I couldn't believe it. That's iconic. And
Dude,
that's what's so fun about this team
no,
right now.
dude, that shit was electric. And then not only was Grimace chugging beers
Yeah.
during the rain delay. They come back and score 5 runs in the
Yeah,
bottom of the fifth
immediately.
inning. It
Yeah.
was insane. It was like the power of Grimace struck instantly as soon as
Yeah.
he drank that liquid gold.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was
I,
insane.
yeah, like you said, it's completely two different parallels of love and hate for this team. Because
Yeah.
when they're playing bad, you're like, these guys are the worst team. How could they ever be professional athletes ever? And then all of a sudden they start playing well, and you're like, Francisco Lindor might be the greatest shortstop of all time.
He's
Like
the
it's a
best.
completely different thing.
He is literally the best shortstop right now, and he's like leading like in the NL votings. He's like I think seventh,
Hmm.
and like he deserves to be in the All-Star game. And if you asked me a month and a half ago, I
Yeah.
would say Francisco Lindor is the worst player that we've ever freaking
Oh,
signed. This is the worst amount of money we've ever spent. Like this is ridiculous. But now I'm like, pay this man more money. Like I
yeah. I
love
think
watching
I
him
think we
play.
literally said on the last podcast that he is not living up to his contract. Maybe
Mm-mm,
even if it was on this
mm-mm.
podcast, I've said it in real life multiple
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
I still might say it, but he's
yeah.
looking a lot better towards that
He's looking
contract.
so good, and like just the whole team as a whole, they
Yeah,
just look like they're having fun.
yeah,
Like I don't know
exactly.
what it is. Like, they strike out. It's like they go back into the clubhouse and
Yeah,
they're like, "Hey, Poppy, it's okay. Like you'll get him
yeah,
next time."
yeah.
And then they'll slap each other on the ass and then they'll laugh about it. And then but like now it's like they're kind of helping each other. I feel like
Hmm.
when they were all struggling, like the thing about baseball is that you fail way more than you're going to succeed.
Oh yeah,
Always how it's been. When you're younger and you're getting taught the game and you strike out 4 times, you get told this.
yeah.
Like you get told you're going to fail, don't get
Hmm.
discouraged, whatever. And y- they looked like a team. They looked like a puppy that was just like beat down. They just
Yeah,
looked like they just looked terrible.
yeah,
Like they were strike out, head down, going back to they weren't saying anything.
yeah.
Now, you know, so what? They strike out, they get out, they go
Hmm.
to the bench and they're talking to the guys. They're like, listen, his curveball does this. They're like, hey, when he's throwing on an 0-2 count, he's coming back to you
Yeah,
with a
yeah.
fastball. Like they're talking with each other because and that energy is helping the next person do good.
Hmm.
And then they're just going down the line, down the line, down the line. And with the
Yeah,
power of friendship and grimace,
yeah,
something is happening.
yeah.
It was just
Nothing.
awesome.
Exactly. Nothing can stop them if they're up in the game. I mean, their bullpen might make it a little fun for no reason, but
Yeah.
they have been holding on. Even if they're down in the game, they're you can't count them out recently.
Yeah.
Few games they've been down by 4, 5, 6 runs, and they've tied it, taken the leads in games. So they definitely have like a never say die attitude right now either, which is just exciting. And
Never say
like
die.
like
This
you
is
said, when
awesome.
when I saw the Mets weren't on tonight, I was actually upset for the first time in a few
Yeah.
weeks.
A few
So
weeks. Yeah.
yeah, they're definitely at an all-time high right now.
Yeah. And that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really awesome actually, and kind of segues us nicely into our next segment. Speaking about the power of friendship, uh,
Power of friendship. Yes.
I think this team might be the definition of the power of friendship this year, and that's
A
that's
hundred
the
percent.
that's the Villanova Knicks.
The
The
Villanova
Villanova
Knicks. The
Knicks.
Villanova
I
Knicks,
don't
dude.
really like the team Villanova. I might have to start liking them if the Knicks start playing well.
Yeah. Honestly, I've been a fan of Villanova. My cousin went there. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, like not like a huge fan, but like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
always
yeah,
watch them. And if they ended up, making it like far into March Madness, I rooted for them.
yeah,
But let me tell you, like just this team, man, is just I'm just so happy.
yeah,
Like the news that we heard yesterday. So for those of you who don't know, if you've been living under a rock in New York sports world,
yeah.
um, Mikal Bridges, right? That's how you say his name.
That's how I'd say it.
I'm the freaking man. Mikal Bridges, he was clowned on by our favorite Knicks players,
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, and they were basically clowning him, saying like, "Hey man, like you're over at the worster
yeah,
basketball team in New York. You're over at the Nets. Come over here.
yeah.
Come to the good side of town." And they were like, basically everybody was saying it wasn't gonna happen, and then all of a sudden Tuesday night it comes
Hmm.
along, and the Knicks traded pretty much every pick they had in existence for Mikal
Yeah,
Bridges just to make this team work. Which I'm just so excited that they got them. What is your take on it? I think they're all gonna play well. My only problem about all of it is I feel like we now have too many players that play the same position. But I don't know if you can just bunk me on this.
I haven't really looked at it too much because I've just been on a high since the trade has happened.
Yeah.
Even right before I talk about the trade here, one quick thing is just I just love at least when a front office tries and a front office cares about their own team
Yes.
and makes a move
Not
like
yeah.
this. It might be a questionable move when you see the amount of picks involved, even though I'll get into it, but I don't think is that crazy. But it's always great when front offices actually care. Maybe they pay attention to the media, maybe they don't. They say they do, but they don't, vice versa. But they had to have known Mikal Bridges was
Yeah.
available on a bad Nets team, and he's, with all the other Villanova guys. He has to know that, Josh Hart, Brunson, and DiVincenzo were having their great nights, and, we talk about Villanova. So just, shout out to the whole front office for getting it done.
Good
Um,
shout out. Good shout out.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, I have nothing wrong with him playing pretty much the same, having a lot of guys play the same position. I think it's just depth at the end of the day. I know Thibodeau likes to run his guys into the ground, but
Yeah.
Bridges, I mean, knock on wood, he hasn't missed a game since high school. He played
That's wild.
83 of the 82 games last year because he got traded after he played a game and then played another game. So he went over the league maximum for regular season games, which is
That's
pretty cool.
wild. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And, when I first saw the draft picks, I couldn't believe it was 4 first rounders, a second round pick swap, all these unprotected, picks or whatnot. But it spans over 3 or 4 years. And teams in basketball have there's only 2 rounds of the draft. And, right? I think there's only 2 rounds, right?
Yeah, there's only 2 rounds.
Yeah. And teams have 40 first round picks, 30 second round picks. It's kind of crazy. So apparently the Knicks just had a lot of draft capital to
Uh,
get rid of it. So, I think at the end of the day, it's just it really worked out well. And honestly, with the Knicks news too, I completely forgot is I thought that meant we were going to lose a couple people, but the Nobi, OG,
yeah.
he
Yeah.
he he decided to take decline some max offers elsewhere to come back with the
Yeah.
Knicks because he likes their future.
You know what, man? You know what that just shows? That just like I don't know. I feel like for a while people were kind of avoiding New York,
Yeah.
especially like in basketball.
Hmm.
Nobody wanted to come to the Knicks.
Yeah.
You know, that just shows that like this team, like people aren't coming for I mean, they're coming to play in New York,
Yeah.
but like they're not coming for an owner, they're not coming for a front office. They're coming for those guys. Like they're
Yeah.
coming for their teammates. And if you're gonna build a championship team, like I feel like that's just the best way to do it,
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
You need the clubhouse is sometimes the most important part. You
Yeah.
you hear about teams falling apart and just rumors out of the locker room that it's toxic or something like that. But goes back to the front office, like just creating this great culture of guys they know that are already going to be friends and guys that are going to play for each other. I mean, Mitch Robinson went down for a little bit and Hardenstein stepped right up.
I hope
Um,
we
you
get
know,
him back too,
I
man.
hope to get him back. That would be awesome. And even Julius Randle was hurt all year. And look at the run they went on even after he was out.
Yeah.
So now you have two good scorers and then some secondary scoring, some defense, some I mean Josh Hart can do it all. Guys going to get you sometimes 15, 20 rebounds for a guy who's like 6 foot.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know
yeah,
what position he mostly plays,
I
Mikal
I'm
Bridges?
I'm I'm really not great with positions in basketball,
Basketball is
admittedly.
hard, especially nowadays, because um like a small forward could be going back and forth and playing a power forward.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like,
not. I'm not really good. Like I know the positions, but I don't really. Besides like point guards and centers, I don't really know who plays what.
yeah,
Unfortunately,
honestly, they say he's a forward.
yeah. I mean, I
So
could see it.
Wikipedia does at least.
Yeah,
So I don't know if I'm assuming that means he's just a mostly a small forward and occasionally plays at the four. So I guess maybe I was wrong. Maybe they don't have that many players that play the same position.
yeah. No, because I think you
Um
could have both of those
yeah.
guys on at the same time, probably. Oh, because I see the four. Because Harden's
My
well,
yeah,
because they say
my
Mitch is the
problem is you have
five, right?
you have Dante DiVincenzo, you have Hart
Yeah,
and Bridges that kind of play like the same positions. So like Josh Hart plays like small forward, like he's an undersized small forward, but he's an a like a good shooting guard, and
Okay.
then you got like Dante who should be playing shooting guard like the way he plays, but he'll
Yeah,
play small forward.
I see.
And then you have, I mean, but if Bridges is like a power forward, small forward guy,
Hmm.
then I guess that's fine. I mean, they
Yeah,
have the ability to play small ball now, which is good.
yeah, I don't really know, unfortunately, too much about like the positions, but maybe now they can, one complaint I had about them dying in the playoffs was they played too many minutes. So maybe instead of
Yeah,
45 minutes, they play 40 minutes a game. Just at least they
I
can
saw.
go back a little bit. They might have like an 8-man team right now instead of a 5-man
Yeah,
team, which is, I think, already great.
yeah, I saw something really funny that made me laugh. It was like I think it's Tyrese Halliburton on the Pat McAfee show.
Mm.
They were talking about like the trade, and they were talking about the signing of OG. Yeah, because
Oh,
now
yeah.
you have OG too. Sorry, I didn't even talk about him in that, but
Yeah.
I'll go back to that.
Mm.
But Tyrese Halliburton was like, yeah, basically, I'm really excited to see because you got Tibbs, who is prone to play his players for the full games,
Yeah.
48 minutes, no stop. And now you got Mikal Bridges, who has not missed a game. So
Yeah.
we're really gonna see the human body
Yeah, yeah, I saw that, which is true. And, I
get
love
tested.
Tibbs. I think he gets too much slack for the way, once he gets his right guys, which he is, because these guys play a lot of minutes, the team can be good. You just have to find the right guys to buy in.
No, I 100% agree. So, but yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Like OG is a small forward, power forward. He's not going to be a center because
Yeah.
like basically how the positionings go, like if you were to build like a perfect, I guess like model of it, it was like the point guard is supposed to be your
Yeah.
smallest guy usually,
Yeah.
who, passes and distributes the ball.
Yeah.
Your shooting guard is around a little bit taller, maybe than the point guard. He
Hmm.
distributes, but he's really just there for offense. Like
Yeah.
he either plays good defense, which most of the times not really unless you have like a Klay Thompson type,
Hmm.
um, plays good defense and then just shoots the ball. That's literally in his name.
Yeah.
Small forward and power forward basically kind of do the same jobs where the power forward just really kind of helps the center just
Hmm.
like down low, guard big men. And then the small forward is another kind of like wing shooter and
Yeah.
like defensive guy.
Gotcha.
So and now we have just like a plethora of just guys who
Hmm.
do that. So
Yeah.
like it could be a good thing, but I also feel like it also could harm us if we play a team like that has like two bigger guys
Hmm.
against us because we have Mitchell Robinson now.
Hmm.
Unless we get Hartenstein, that would be
Yeah.
great. I mean, and Randall, he's a big guy, but
Oh,
he's not.
true. I forgot. I forgot about Randall. Wow, this team is
That's what
deep.
I'm. This
Jeez.
team is deep now. This
Wow.
team is deep now. So like that's what I'm saying. Like Tibbs can't play people for 48 minutes because we have too many people to play.
Yeah, so I mean, listen, I think it's a good thing having a plethora of guys now because you have a
Yeah,
bench, you have depth. I remember there
yeah.
was points in
I
the
mean, maybe we
playoffs they
won't
were
get as
getting
much get as injured as now.
exactly. I remember there was literally points where we're getting outscored by the bench like 52 to nothing in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like we
Mm-hmm.
need a little bit more scoring to help out Brunson. I mean, Brunson was still
Yeah.
putting up 40, but maybe there's a night where Brunson can't put up 40. There was some points like that in the playoffs, and maybe now Bridges and Anobi they combine for 20 each. That's 40 right there. So
Yeah.
it's kind of what the Celtics had a little bit. They had plenty of guys too.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they had to end up getting rid of people though. They got rid of Marcus Smart,
true, but
but
yeah,
then
they
they got
definitely
Kristoff.
upgraded. They
You know.
definitely upgraded.
Yeah.
So no, it's regardless of the problem. That's Tibbs' problem to
No,
figure out.
100%. If
Yeah,
I were to think, I think it's gonna be Brunson at the point guard. I think it's going to be Hart at the two,
yeah.
Bridges at the three. Oh, actually, wow, this is hard.
Well, it could be
I'm
Rand.
actually wrong. I think it's going to be wow. I guess maybe they would play Bridges at the two
Yeah,
and
get
put
Harden.
OG at the three, Randall at the four, and then Robinson at the five. That's your
Yeah,
starting five right there.
I would agree. And then you get
And then you have
DiVincenzo, Hart.
DiVincenzo coming off the bench.
Yep. With the other guy, Precious. I think he's still
Yeah,
there.
with Precious. Um and you got Deuce McBride.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean,
I liked him. Yeah.
it's a pretty deep team, which crazy enough, every time. I mean, everything's different on paper and off seasons, but A lot of New York teams have been making so many great moves in the off seasons that they get me excited.
Me too,
Between
man.
the Jets, sometimes the Rangers, the Knicks, I always think like, oh, we're 10 years away from winning a championship. But with the Knicks, I don't want to get too ahead of
It's
myself, but I think
fucking go time,
within the
baby.
next 5 years, I think they got to get one. I
Nah,
think
they
they
gotta.
got to get one.
They gotta. I honestly, I think within the next two is really your like
Window.
your window, the
Yeah.
window right
I
there.
agree.
You
Well, the
gotta.
best part too is I think everyone's like all their key players are not even above 30 yet, and they have most of them locked up for at least 5 years.
Yeah,
Some of those guys. So
we'll
listen,
see what happens.
yeah,
We'll
let's
see
go
what
Mets, let's
happens.
go Knicks.
Let's
I'm
go Mets.
pumped.
Let's go Knicks. It's the blue and orange, baby. Just runs through New York.
It's awesome
Get
right now.
rid of that navy blue and freaking white bullshit.
Yeah, we don't want to see any of it.
It's all about the blue and orange, baby. Except the Islanders. Fuck them.
Yeah, true. Bing, bing, bong, minus the Islanders.
Bing bong minus the Islanders. But yeah, no, very excited to see what the Knicks do.
Hmm.
Basketball just kind of on fire right now. Celtics just won, and now there's even more stuff to talk about because the draft just happened.
Yeah.
It was a weak kind of draft class, but
Yep.
we have an amazing, quadruple sum over there with the Knicks with Bridges, Devontae, and Dante DiVincenzo.
Hmm.
Then you got Brunson and Hart, and
Yes.
now you cut that in half. You have another two over, and the Lakers and Bronny and LeBron James have been reunited finally.
Yeah, yeah,
So you
yeah,
were wondering where I was going with that.
yeah.
The red ball finally
I
came
had
around,
no
and it was
idea
like,
what you were trying to go with that.
boom, got
I,
there.
I honestly knew what we were talking about next, and I still got lost trying to follow that little red ball. But you got there, and like Carl said,
Tired, man.
it's all good. It's all good. We understand. And but yeah, no, crazy. To see it was kind of like a rumored thing. It would have been cool to see, but officially, LeBron James Jr. is playing with LeBron James.
Yeah, no. Honestly, it's like the NBA scripted, the NFL scripted, everybody's scripted.
Yeah.
But this was something that was scripted, I know that I saw something really funny earlier, and it was like, what if the Celtics just take um Bronny, like the
Oh
pick
yeah.
right before the Lakers do, and they just like, all right, we're gonna hold your son hostage until you give us Austin Reeves.
Yeah, yeah,
And
I
then
saw
I
that.
saw people being like, we don't like the Celtics fans were like, as a Celtics fan, we don't want Austin Reeves.
Yeah, yeah. I did see that. The,
It's
the the
funny.
memes were funny because obviously a lot of teams were just inferring that if you drafted Bronny, LeBron was going to want to go to your team for at
Yeah.
least a year, which I thought he probably would have, but I guess we'll never know. Um, but it is really
Yeah.
cool at the end of the day to see just, a father-son duo getting to play together, especially in like such a prestigious team, a historic team like the Lakers. I
Yeah.
don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know how much Bronny will play, how good he'll be, but just being able to practice and learn more from your dad on a professional scale,
You know
pretty
what too?
pretty
Like
cool.
not even a basketball like mindset. Bronny and LeBron like LeBron, I gotta say, he has been like a pretty good father. Like he makes time for his kids, he goes to games, he coaches them,
Yeah,
you know. But when you play in the NBA, you're not home at
yeah,
all. Like, like
that's it. Yeah.
you're only home like certain time, like you're home for like weeks at a time. Bronny and LeBron are now going to be able to be with each other now
Hmm.
24/7. They'll
Yeah,
be hanging out with each other 24/7 now.
yeah,
But that's cool, like from, a father-son thing where, now you get to spend some quality time with your dad like all the time.
yeah.
On the downside of that though is now you are an NBA athlete, and
Mm.
LeBron James knows what an NBA athlete is, right?
Yeah, true.
You think Bronny's gonna get up to those antics that we know LeBron probably got up to when he was first a rookie?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the flip side of that,
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you start playing, yeah, a little bad too. The Lakers, who already have enough headlines coming their way, even if they have an off night or something
Yeah.
like that. So it will be interesting to see too. Honestly, like you said, it was such a weak draft class. I didn't
Yeah,
really know anyone in it besides guys coming out of the UConn and a couple
me
guys
too.
from March
And
Madness.
Purdue, yeah.
Yeah, so I knew only a few guys. So really, the only storyline I really cared about is who, if anyone, was going to take Bronny.
Me too.
And
Did you see he was like the sixth overall like most bet on player in the
yeah, to go
draft
like first or
to
something,
go first? Yeah.
not even close.
Not even close. 54 picks later, actually.
Yeah, but I know we kind of talked about it a little bit, but we'll say here, people are obviously going to say, oh, nepotism, stuff like that, because Bronny had a late start to his college season. He was dealing with, I believe, something with his heart, kind of held him
Yeah,
back a little bit. He passed out in practice. His stats don't look great. And he's still young,
he's still
obviously,
young.
so
He's
he's got
so
time to
young. He's like
develop. This, so
18, 19 years old.
yeah, exactly. He's so young, but if you look at it, the storyline itself is great. How many minutes is he really going to play? It's a good thing for the sport. People just don't like LeBron, but there's definitely guys who were taken that shouldn't have been taken
Yeah, no,
before him.
100%.
I
No,
mean,
there wasn't. Just as a basketball move, like not even just like you take LeBron James, you take his son, you take Bronny, you're selling jerseys. That's just
oh
like
yeah,
a stupid business move. You're
yeah,
gonna sell that jersey like crazy.
yeah,
So why
yeah.
wouldn't you?
Yeah, literally. Besides like guys like, Zach Edey, some UConn
Yeah.
guys, like who's really gonna get their rookie's jersey? The Knicks. I
No.
don't really. I know the Knicks who they drafted, but I don't really. I'm not gonna get their jerseys right away.
Yeah, no shot.
Yeah, these guys.
But
This guy
Bronny
already has.
instantly
He's coming in.
there's gonna be more Bronny jerseys sold this year than probably LeBron jerseys.
Yeah, it really could be. Honestly.
Like that might be a hot take,
Yeah.
but the way that it's going, there might be more Bronny jerseys than LeBron because people are going to be so excited that they're playing together. And
Yeah.
the hate that I feel like he's getting, he got pretty like good like scouting reports from these like college or
Hmm.
not these college guys, from these NBA scouts when he went to the combine and stuff, he
Yeah.
got pretty good comps. Like
Yeah.
are they 100% going to be like all-star players? No, but he got like a pretty good like role player and he's young still. And this is a guy who like missed out on a lot of like practice and stuff like in the fall of last year because he had that heart issue.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Was I talking to you about this? I forget who I was talking to. I think I was talking to um one of my friends. We were talking about how honestly he'll probably be able to mature more and learn more at the NBA than he would if he were to stay in college
Oh yeah.
and and go to maybe like even the G League, like if he was to
Yeah.
go straight to the G League, because basketball at the end of the day, yeah, you need to compete, you need to play against players, but like they practice every day and they practice hard, you
Yeah.
know? So now he's gonna be practicing every day, not against peers, but like I guess veterans of in the game.
Hmm.
Like he's he's gonna learn a lot more from them. I personally feel like than he would learn from playing against like players in the G
Yeah.
League or younger or I don't know. I have a it's the NBA is so weird, like because there'll be players that they draft and they won't play for years, but then
Hmm.
they'll come out of nowhere and they'll be productive, and it's because they've been sitting on the bench for 2 years learning from
Hmm.
these guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That in my aspect is weird because it's not like the MLB where you have um a minor league system. You can't just send somebody down. I mean you do have the
Yeah.
G League, but it's not like you have multiple different organizations. So
Hmm. No, I think that's actually a really great point because if you have him in a G League or say he went to an international league to play or something like that, like you never know what kind of crowd of a team you're gonna get on, and who you're really gonna play with, what those guys are
yeah,
gonna be like off the court, what kind of trouble you could get in. I mean, it might stink for Bronny right now. He might not realize because he's a young teen or kid,
yeah, he's
but
gonna
like
want to play, but he's
it,
just gotta be patient.
when not even just with that, but like, your dad's watching you. You
Yeah,
can't really be late for practice. You can't be out late night the night before a game or something like that. Again, he might not play much, but he's going to be able to practice with the best. And literally, he'll have a little more, he'll feel a little more comfortable because he's playing with his dad at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
100%.
So I think honestly, this is the best thing for him, and it's a good storyline. Anyone who doesn't
It's
like
such a
it
great storyline.
just doesn't like LeBron,
Yes.
and
That's the
you know,
only reason. That's the
yeah,
only reason why people don't like it.
that's the only,
And for people that think that he only got picked because it's his son. But
yeah,
not
and I kind of agree. He might have, but
I'm not gonna glance over that. I'm
yeah,
not gonna glance over that at all. I think that was definitely a huge factor.
yeah,
But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? I'm not LeBron's son. I'm sorry.
yeah. If you
I,
had the opportunity
if
to
I
do
had the
it,
son, I would have
yeah,
done it, you
yeah.
know?
Exactly. So listen, Le GM, he's a GM wherever he goes. The only one thing that is actually going to be interesting is once LeBron retires and Bronny's still there, like what happens? I know that could be a couple years away, but it's
I'm
going to be
gonna
interesting to see the
yeah,
state of the Lakers.
I'm gonna be interested to see the relationship between JJ Redick and LeBron. I don't mean not LeBron and Bronny. Because
Yeah,
JJ's the head coach now over there.
yeah,
So
true,
like what if JJ falls in love with Bronny? What if
true.
JJ's like, you're literally LeBron's son. You're gonna be better than him. What
Yeah,
are all
yeah,
these people saying? I could so see him doing that. Because like he is a media guy now.
he is.
He was a media guy. He loves the headlines. So
He
who
could.
knows? Who
Who
knows?
who really knows? It's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. I think it's good for the sport. I think it's
I
great
think
to
so
have this
too.
dynamic duo going.
Like 100%. I agree with that. So hopefully everything ends up turning out.
I,
So
I, I hope so as well. And speaking of dynamic
dynamic
duos,
duo.
we have
Dynamic duo.
our next topic on here, and we wanted to talk about it briefly because it was just all over social media. If you're living under a rock, you would have missed it, but definitely you didn't miss it. Uh, Travis Kelsey performed with his girlfriend Taylor
Mm.
Swift on stage during the Eras
He
tour.
he made his Eras Tour debut.
Yeah, and I just thought that was one of the coolest things ever to really see.
No, it was really cool, man. From one hating thing to another, man. If you hate on that too, come on, that's just so cool.
Yeah,
What, like, whenever, name another time where a top athlete at his, at in his sport has dated a absolute megastar
yeah,
like Taylor Swift, and like they get along for on the surface, we know they get along,
hmm
and just like the attention that is being brought no matter
hmm
where they go. I really can't name another.
No, you really can't. Obviously you think of other just like pop stars or celebrities who have gotten together, but they've never been like just at the top of both of their respective crafts
Yeah.
at like the same time, kind of. I mean, this probably is, but whatever.
I don't know. I really can't name like anything else. I mean, the only one that comes to my mind is like Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's like the only
That's
other
what I was
couple
thinking too.
that are like two like A's. But I feel
Yeah,
like other time like it happens like if you're like you have like celebrities or like I guess like professionals, it's always like an A and a B. Like
yeah.
it's never really two A's, like two alphas. And they're
That's
both alphas, I would say, you know?
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so for sure. And obviously, I saw the NFL posted a video of him on their social media account
Yeah.
performing or a picture. And I'm like, oh, let's see these comments. Like, they're definitely not going to be civil. And everyone's just saying, like, oh, this is an NFL account. Don't post this. Why would you do this? Blah, 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 blah. But, dude, it's NFL related news in the offseason. It's one of the best players in the game performing on a stage. If
Performing
if
on a
if
stage,
if,
yeah.
if it was a video of I'll say Russell Wilson or someone, say Russell Wilson hopped on stage with like Zach Bryan during Revival, everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, all right, whatever, that's
Yeah.
cool." Or Peyton Manning hopped on with
Yes, they would
and
have been
that would
okay
be
with Peyton
better.
Manning. I
Say
was gonna
Peyton
say Russell
Manning,
Wilson, they
yeah.
probably would have shit
You
on.
should probably shit on because he
They
stinks.
probably should have.
Say it was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning hops on with Zach Bryan for Revival. They say, "Oh, Peyton Manning's the man. That's so cool." Blah blah blah. Zach Bryan's so smart. But then when it comes down to this, everyone's saying, "This is not NFL news. Why would you post this? This is terrible." I think it was really cool. And besides just it being cool for them, uh, Taylor was bringing up the song that he performed during, and it just had like a kind of deeper meaning and stuff. And him performing on stage, he looked like he was into it. He looked like an actor. Maybe he's got a
Yeah.
future after
No, he
this.
did, dude. I honestly like think both him and his brother Jason could probably end up after they retire. I know Jason's got the deal
Yeah,
with
Monday Night
which is
Football,
it Monday Night Football? Yeah.
Monday night.
He's got
Yeah,
the deal with Monday
I
Night
think so.
Football to commentate, but like I think
Yeah.
both of them have some acting chops. They're so funny, man.
Yeah,
They're so
no.
funny.
Just from their podcast alone, they have a
Yeah.
lot of just they're both great characters, first of all, and they just have a lot of energy all the time. And no matter what they're talking about, they love it. So you can just relate to those two guys. So I thought that was really cool to see. I remember I always just love when I see something first because I just love to see like Taylor's reaction. So I
Yeah.
started on my TikTok. I said, "You have to sit down for this one. You're going to be shocked." Because I was shocked when I first saw the video. I thought it was like clickbait or something, and then I saw the video. I'm like, nope, that is Travis Kelce dancing on stage for the Eras tour.
Dude, he was really good with it too. He was like I mean, he's got like Riz, man. He's like a very charismatic dude, so he knows how to move, so it's funny. He's
Yeah,
he's he's a character.
yeah. No, I thought that was cool, and I wonder if it's gonna be his last time.
I don't think so because she did say debut. Those were her words.
Oh, I missed that one because I
And
know he goes
I
to a bunch of tours or
I
shows.
I screenshotted like the thing and I sent it to Courtney because we were talking about like crazily we were talking about maybe going overseas to go see her tour, her
So
Eras tour. Me and Courtney were talking about it.
it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper, and I would feel like it would be cool to go to another country for something like that.
Yeah, I know Taylor and one of her coworkers from one of her friends from work was talking about it. I forgot what
Yeah.
show they were looking to go to, but they were like, yeah, between the flights and the tickets, like it's as much as a tour would be here. So why not go to a different
Why
country?
not? Yeah. So, this was exactly what she said that I took a picture of it and she was like, and I'm still cracking up and swooning over Killer Trav's Eras Tour debut. Never going to forget these shows. Can't wait to do it 5 more times in August. Up next, Dublin.
Oh, okay. So,
So I, f- I mean, I could be reading that wrong,
yeah.
but from what I'm reading there, it says that I think that he's gonna come back at least at another one.
Well, yeah, it depends when the show is
Gotta be. It
because
depends when the show
they're
is.
in the off season. I know they have training camp that starts super early and always those mandatory OTAs. So,
Yeah.
but obviously, if it doesn't interfere with any of that, I don't see why not. She
Why
came
not,
to
man?
enough games. I saw that really the next thing the Chiefs have to do is let her, kick an extra point or something since he was able to perform on the tour. I think it would only be fair if it's her turn to,
That would be funny.
get at least one down, one drive or something on the field, maybe even just
Did
one play.
Did you see I was watching the Pat McAfee show and they were talking about how like they just had their ring ceremony like last week
Hmm.
and who went live? Who's the
It was McCole Hardman's
Nicole
girlfriend
Hardman's girlfriend and
or
went live
wife.
and Taylor Swift joined
Yeah,
the live and was like watching it with them and she's like, "Oh man, like I wish I literally 4 a.m. like
I
her
know.
time."
Yeah,
Like
they love and support each other.
I
They
know,
really do, and they're so
crazy.
cool.
Yeah, and like Taylor was like, Pat McAfee was like, listen, if anybody like she literally, it's 4 a.m. in
Yeah,
like Portugal right now where she's performing, right?
yeah,
And they're like, and she's literally on here because she's like, I like has FOMO not being there. Like, they were like, she deserves a ring. And I was
yeah,
like, you know what? I kind of agree. Like, she brought so much attention to the Chiefs and like Loki kind of willed that team to win because of how much like hype was surrounding
Well,
that
yeah,
team. Like if they didn't win,
how much the refs wanted it to happen too, I guess.
yeah,
But
that
no, I'm just kidding.
yeah, that's who. But they like she kind of willed that team to win, man, you know?
Well,
So
yeah,
she
love or hate
deserves
the
a ring.
storyline. Love or hate the storyline. I mean, she had to rush from Japan to go to the Super
Yeah.
Bowl, so she cares. She cares about supporting him.
If I was the Hunts over there, over in Kansas City, the owners, I would give her a ring.
Yeah, why not? Honestly, at
Even
that
if they
point,
make her pay for it. She's paying for it.
yeah, I think she could pay for 1,000 of those rings.
Yeah, you think? She
Yeah,
probably could pay for 1,000 of them and not even blink.
yeah, I think so. I think so. But cool story. Cool story.
Yeah, real quick before we leave, me and Courtney were talking about this. Do you think that like she will ever go on like a tour of this magnitude again, or you think she's done?
No. Like she can never do arenas again.
You don't
So
think so?
no, no shots.
Why don't you think so?
Because this it would sell out so quickly. People wouldn't be able to go. So she would go on another stadium tour, but I don't think she would do another like Errors 3 hour, 3.5 hour, 45 song tour. I think her next tour will be, say, for this album that just came out, or if she has another album. Say that I see. I think she goes on tour for her next album as a stadium tour. She can't do arenas.
But what? Oh, that yeah. Okay, sorry, I got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think she'll do arenas anymore. It's gonna be stadiums. What she's like currently
Yes.
doing right now.
Yes. But I don't think when you say magnitude, do you mean like this whole 3 hour show? Because
I'm not saying it has to be 3 hours, but I'm
yeah,
saying like I could see her going on like tour and doing stadiums again.
yeah. No, I see that. I see that. I see her doing. I don't think she could ever do an arena again
Courtney and I
because
were ta Courtney and I were talking about it, and she was like, I think that she's just done. She'll probably after the Eras tour is over, she'll like not she won't perform again. I was like, she loves it way too much. Like she literally
yeah,
like she just like gets high off of it. It's like a high, you know?
yeah. Well, I think. I mean, I think she deserves and probably will take like at
A
least a
huge
five
break.
year break from
Yeah,
performing, at least on a tour. Maybe
yeah.
she'll do a show here or there,
I think
but
yeah. I think she'll take probably like a year off. She's making way too much money right now. And
yeah,
like Courtney was like, "Oh, she has way too much money. She doesn't like need it." And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand, but like you're at your like apex, right? You're
yeah.
at your apex right now. And like the seat is hot. Like people are gonna continue to buy this money or buy these shows for at least another year or two.
Mhm.
You know, as long as you keep pumping out music in between, people are gonna just keep saying because I know
Well,
she just added a whole section, right? Like the Tortures Poets department to her
she
tour.
did. She did.
So
Yes.
she added that whole section. So people are just gonna keep going. If she keeps doing these,
Well,
they're gonna just see that one section, you know?
December's it. December's it.
No, I know December's the
Yeah,
last Eras one, but I'm saying like if she's to start like another tour again, say she takes a year break and she starts again.
I
Like
think
people are
it's
gonna
gonna be.
go.
I think people will go. I think it. I think once December's done, I don't think she does another tour for 3 years minimum.
That's crazy. We'll have to bet on this.
Just because, I mean, she'll probably drop music. I think she'll perform again, but this tour was just nothing. We'll never see anything like it from anyone.
Yeah,
Just
no, this
stadium
is
tours
wild.
and in different countries. Obviously people tour in different countries all the time,
But
but
not this magnitude. She's like selling out. Like people go on world tours and they'll sell out arenas. She's selling out like two football fields next to each other.
yeah,
Like
and on top of that, like they're selling the football stadiums, and then there's also probably an additional 10,000 people
in the parking
outside
lot.
who
Yeah.
can hear the music and stuff at certain locations. So like
It's crazy, dude.
it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You gotta just tip your cap at the end of the day.
Literally tip my cap, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. We hope you see you guys again. So
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, our last topic kind of stays with the singer performer kind of realm. And Post Malone just announced recently his album date, his album title, his album cover. He's dropped a
F1
couple
trillion,
songs,
baby.
F1 Trillion, and he also announced a tour to go along with it. Which will be coming close to me in Connecticut, but also close on
Close to
Long Island
me.
too. So we're
Yeah.
gonna have to figure out which one we want to go to, if not both.
I'll go to both, man.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
So, but besides that, though, this big storyline really is we've been joking around about him collecting Infinity Stones for country stars and the country album. He's just teasing us now because that's exactly what I think he's doing.
No, 100%. I think, all right, so he like dropped the album cover. He dropped like basically you can pre-save the album now,
Yes.
right? And there's 18 tracks,
Yep.
and the three artists that we know are confirmed.
Yep.
Two of the songs have dropped.
Yep.
Morgan Wallen, Blake Shelton. Oh,
Hmm.
sorry, there's four. We know he also has a song with Luke Combs that he
Yep.
teased. And then
Yep.
he just teased another song with Chris Stapleton. And like arguably those guys the past couple of years have been some of the top or top country artists
Yeah.
like
Uh,
out right now, and it's like he's just collecting just a feature here, a feature here, a feature
Yeah.
here, and he's becoming best friends with the whole country industry.
Yeah, and he looks like he's having so much fun. Like ever since
So
he's been
much fun.
posting the videos with Luke Combs and Morgan Wallen, like those took a little while. Well, Luke Combs hasn't dropped, but Morgan Wallen, that song was teased
Yeah,
and teased, and you just kept seeing him having fun recording, smoking a cigarette or drinking a Bud
yeah,
Light, and then he would be like, oh, like, blah, blah, blah. And he would just like at Morgan Wallen. And then as he would post it again, he would say dropping soon and then finally dropping whatever day it did. And then Blake Shelton kind of dropped and it was just like he would just
yep,
at Morgan or at Blake Shelton and it's like, hey, pour me a drink dropping here.
yep.
Now he's just playing with us because when he dropped the one with Chris Stapleton, he's like, this one's with Chris Stapleton. Like he's saying,
Yeah,
look who I got now. Like just absolutely
he
just
knows
shoving it
what
in our
he's doing.
faces.
He
Yeah.
literally just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, no, I cannot wait. And I know the tickets go on sale too soon. I'm always hesitant to kind of see what the album is like first before he goes on tour, but I mean,
I'm
the tour is
I'm
gonna be
going
great.
from what the little taste we've gotten, like the music is just so good. And I think the reason why he like you alluded to why he's just so happy, this was the type of music that he tried to break into.
Yeah, true.
He tried to break into country first. That was his first love. He
Yeah.
tried breaking into country,
Hmm.
didn't work. Tried breaking in the rock, didn't work.
Yeah.
Then he changed his name to Post Malone. He started doing R&B, like hip hop, and rest is history. He's the one of the biggest artists next to Taylor Swift.
Hmm.
Um, he's huge right now, and I just love everything he puts out, and he just looks so happy doing it.
Yeah.
Um, dude, and like his voice was just meant for country.
Oh yeah, I remember when he performed at like the CMAs,
Yep.
maybe it was like last year, and everyone he was doing a cover with a couple other country stars, and like Post Malone has to do country, like this has to be a thing, and he took that 100% to heart, and he said,
Yeah.
"Bet." And
Bet.
not
He
only
said
did
say
he,
less.
and it definitely would be stressful if he just did a country album by himself, because that could get some backlash.
Oh yeah.
From hardcore country fans because I know a lot of people didn't love the Beyonce going into country. I know it's probably a little different because she is mainly just pop and she has her
Yeah.
more songs that don't really resonate with people who like country music. But Post Malone's like, well, I'm gonna go into country, but I'm also going to get guys you like and
I'm
guys you
gonna
listen
bring
to.
my friends.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you can't hate this because I'm listening, I'm performing, I'm writing with, I'm singing songs with guys you like, newer and older. I mean, Blake Shelton, maybe he'll get Billy Ray, maybe he'll get
Dude, if he gets
other
Billy Ray
guys.
and Miley Cyrus on a fucking track,
Yeah,
I'm literally going to be so happy. Like my life would be fulfilled. I'd be
yeah.
so happy.
I mean, it would be cool. I'm trying to think of other people he could really get.
If he gets George Strait on an album, if he gets a George Strait on a track,
Yeah.
I think Steve would lose
I,
his shit.
I think so too. Honestly, I thought about that too. I think this might be a concert we could get Steve to go to at Jones Beach that he'd be pumped about.
100%. 100%. Steve will be down.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I can't wait. I know the concert's not till September.
Yeah.
Uh, album drops in August, but I'll definitely be counting down the days for those because
Yeah.
those are exciting.
My last question for you, I saw this on TikTok the other
Mm.
day. They were arguing about on some podcast that probably 90% of America watches that I just haven't watched. Um this guy was talking about how he thinks that country music is now the new rebellious music. It's
Rebellious.
yes. So like he was like country music right now is hot. Like you got Post Malone doing country, you got people like MGK doing like country rap. You have these like artists kind of doing like countryer songs like
Okay.
that are big artists. And he was like country is doing right now what rock did back in the 60s when Elvis was around and stuff,
Yeah.
and like rock did, and then what hip hop did to rock, because rock was like the primary like music that everybody listened to up until hip hop became really a big thing in like the 80s and 90s. And
Hmm.
now country's kind of like, and this is my rebuttal to it though. And then he was like, country is kind of now doing that where it's like cool to be country. It's cool to wear a cowboy hat. It's cool to like dress up like a cowboy and like go
Yeah.
on stage and perform and be a celebrity. And I was like, that's such an interesting take upon that, you know? I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know if it's just because the Post is doing it and like other celebrities, but I don't disagree. But my rebuttal to that is that country has arguably also been around as long as hip hop has been. So
Yeah.
that's my rebuttal to
No,
that. Is like I don't know.
that's a good rebuttal, but I would just kind of debunk it altogether if he said rebellious, or kind of just the way you were saying each genre was kind of knocked out by the next genre coming. I think, yeah, well, one, country's been around forever, but when I think about the music, I just think it's it because I was thinking about this recently because with Post Malone now doing this trend, I know Quavo is teasing this track to me that sounds kind of country. All these other guys have country songs. Beyonce just had a whole country
No
album.
way.
Yeah,
Quavo?
Quavo has a song that it has a country vibe. I'm not saying he's diving into the country
Yeah.
realm, but I was listening to all these songs and I think it's just because they know people are gonna listen to it even if they don't like that artist.
Yeah.
Because I think come summertime, come like chilling on a boat, chilling outside, hanging with friends, these songs are just have good vibes that go along with the summer.
Yeah.
Like you listen to it's not really country, but like Noah Khan, I guess if you consider it,
Yeah, he's
Shabuzi's
good.
got all these songs. Like not a
Love
lot of like I was
Shabuzi.
playing
Big
this in
fan.
front of like my family a bunch, like Shabuzi and stuff, and it's like no one knows these songs, but you see everyone bumping along because it's just like upbeat, good music,
Yeah.
that can really go in a scenario about hanging outside in the sun.
Yeah, country is good too because I played around my dad, who was like a primarily rock guy, disco
Yeah.
guy, and
Uh-huh.
like they can relate to it because it's like very similar as opposed to like,
Yeah, yeah. No, it's a good point. That's fair because every time my dad gets in the car, he's like a rock guy too. I'm like, I'm not gonna put on rap with these guys like cursing, talking about drugs and women and stuff. I'm just gonna put on country. I'll put on some Luke Combs and, you know,
yeah,
I know it'll be all right.
just vibe.
Yeah, but that's a fair point.
But yeah, I just wanted to give that to you right before we got wrapped everything up today. But basically, all in all, very excited for Posty, very excited for Country Post, and I
Hmm.
can't wait to see what Infinity Stone he's going to get next. I think that's four right now. So he's got Morgan,
Yeah,
Luke Combs,
yeah.
Blake
Like,
Shelton,
yep.
and
Chris
Chris
Stapleton.
Stapleton.
Yep.
He's got room for two more.
Yeah,
Two more big ones.
once Chris Stapleton that song drops, he hasn't announced that yet, but I'm excited to see who comes next, or if we just have to wait till the album at that point, we'll see.
I kind of hope we just wait till the album. If we get one more single, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that's it. Just give us the Chris Stapleton one, and
But if I don't have another single, I'm chilling. I'll just freaking listen the shit out of I Had Some Help and pour me a drink. That's
yeah,
it.
I've been listening to those two on loop as well. So
Literally.
we'll have to see.
Yeah. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
great episode. Hope everybody enjoyed. I thought we had a lot of great topics for you all today.
Yes,
And stay up to date when me and Tyler talk about where to find these amazing, lovely hats that we're wearing. Look how lush. Look how
they're very
clean.
comfy. They're
Look how
very nice. The
comfy.
cowboy
Yes.
code.
The cowboy code, the cowboy revolution, baby.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, stay like Carl said, stay tuned on that, on these awesome hats, and also stay up to date. Keep following the pages, liking our stuff, buying the merch, and we have a lot of new exciting news coming soon in many different areas. So make sure to stay in touch with that. Keep interacting with us. We love it. So thank you guys very much for listening to another great episode.
Two men, too good, baby. I just
Peace.
wanna love somebody. You want? Oh, you can end the recording. I was just singing.
I know we're really good too.